So here is John Ritter's version. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. I'm currently out of town on business. I would love to have been here to welcome Val to the Hall of Fame. There's no question she is deserving. I've known Val since the days of persimmon-headed drivers and balata golf balls, and before graphite shafts and game improvement irons. I think our respective drivers were likely as tall as each of us when we first met. I literally could look out of my window on Den Allen Drive and see Val in her front yard swinging a golf club or shooting hoops or tossing with someone or doing something else to better her craft. She's being inducted not only because of her athletic skill, but because she worked as hard or harder than anyone I have ever known at improving those skills. I'd sometimes join her in the driveway to shoot hoops until I realized she could spot me the H and the O in horse, and I still couldn't compete. On the golf course, Val would sometimes be met with snickers and odd looks from the young men she was playing against. As a girl playing on the guys' team, she could be viewed as a novelty. What those guys didn't know, but would soon come to learn and regret, is that she was on the team because she was just plain very, very good. She channeled those doubts from her competitors into her play, and it made her better. And it made her teammates better, including me. We fed on that, and we played better because of her. That's what a great athlete does. They make the ones around them better. I'll share a quick story about her competitiveness, John says, and our long-term relationship. 20 years after our graduation, we played at Coldstream before the class reunion. Before teeing off, she looked at me and confidently said, "You know I'm going to beat you today, right?" And John replied in his most snarky voice, "You know you're still just a girl, right?" And then she birdied 2 of the first 3 holes. Says, "I played a lot of competitive golf, but I'm not sure I ever remember working harder to win a match." So he's showing off that he must have got you that day. Typical man. And jet lag, there you go. 20 years after our high school sports days had concluded, she was still the same competitor that I remembered. She was still working harder than most to be the best she could be. And now I see the same level of passion and dedication being applied as Val teaches others the great game of golf through her company, Moore's Mobile Golf. She's introducing the game that she and I have both loved to a whole generation of new players, and there's no doubt that she will be successful in the business venture. I could not be happier to welcome Val to the Anderson High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations from an old friend and teammate. I'm very proud of you, John. And so, Valerie, for your outstanding accomplishments here at Anderson and way beyond, it is a pleasure to welcome you to the Anderson High School Hall of Fame. You have earned it.
Shocker, I'm starting to cry. I didn't think it'd be this soon, so bear with me. Glad I wrote this out. I tried to go by memory, but just bear with me. I'm just going to go ahead and read from here. Wow, that was pretty special. Well, good evening, Anderson family and guests. Welcome to all of you, and congratulations to my fellow inductees. It's just a complete honor to be among you. I want to congratulate each and every one of you. I'm amazed. It's really, truly a pleasure to be here with you. I'd like to thank Frank Brandy, Teresa Gross, Randy Corbett, and the entire Hall of Fame committee. I would like to thank my parents. Sorry. They're 87 and 82. And they wanted to be here, but they're down in Florida. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I want to thank all my teachers, coaches, fellow teammates, classmates, my dear friends who are here tonight, and all the parents along the way that rooted for me. A special thank you to my dear friend Ed Sisko, who's down in Florida. taking care of my 6 cats. And most importantly, I want to thank God who has blessed me beyond belief. I'm extremely humbled and honored. I remember the initial phone call from Frank Randy. It was like a dream. I actually shook my head. I said, "Are you sure you're calling the right person?" Honestly, I don't remember half this stuff, and my father is the one that actually kept every single record. So a few weeks later, I actually texted Frank and I said, "Which sport is it?" I didn't even really know because I didn't really consider myself excelling in any of them. I just felt like I was decent in all of them, and I really just played each sport. I really hate attention to myself, but that's why I played each sport, to try to make my teammates shine. That's what I wanted to do, whether it was passing off to someone for a better open shot, or finishing my round of golf and being right there at the green and cheering someone on, or high-fiving them when they hit their home run. It really never was about me. It was always about my teammates. So every single person I played with, this is a part of you guys. So when I went back and I looked at everything, and I couldn't really remember, and I honestly was like, I never thought I'd be a part of this. In terms of everything that was written, my father is 87 and has kept every single record. He'll send me an email and say, "You graduated today," or "You went and took your first job in Indiana," so I have him to thank for doing all that. He was my behind-the-scenes parent. And then there's my mom, who was at every single match, every single game, rooting everybody on, as well as myself. So my freshman year, right when I was getting ready to start, I was a pretty shy kid back then, and I remember walking into the athletic office with my mom. We went to see Mr. Penwell, and my mom said, "This is my daughter Valerie, and she wants to play golf. She wants to try out. What does she need to do?" And poor Mr. Penwell, I think he about fell out of his chair, shook his head, and was like, "Well, the only requirement is she has to hit from the men's tees." I just said, "Okay," and I showed up for the tryouts. Now, I really never knew I was going to outdrive the guys. I never knew I was going to, I knew it. I wasn't going to hit as far as them, but I worked hard on that short game. And like I said, I never really liked attention drawn myself, but I got it, being the only girl. And the best was when we showed up for a match, and like John said, the one time I heard, "Oh, we got this one. They got a girl on their team." And I silently listened, and that just lit my fire, and I kept my mouth shut, and we ended up tied at the end. I was fifth man at the time, and they had to do a scorecard playoff, and they beat them, so I was pretty happy about that. So that was pretty neat. Anyway, my time at Anderson is something I will always treasure. I gained a valuable education, lifelong friends, and memories to cherish forever. Everything about Anderson helped me to get to the next level, the Ohio State University. Very fortunate to get to play golf there. And I have to say, I thought golf was going to be the easy part and school was going to be the hard part. But anybody that's here or has kids, this is a great place to get an education. I was so prepared for college, and it was golf that actually was a struggle. I never gave up. But most importantly, I earned a degree in elementary education. All those years of playing school in my basement finally paid off. It's hard to believe 1990 was so long ago. We were actually the first class of the 90s, so everybody made fun of us. But it seems like yesterday to me. And last night at the football game, I really got homesick since I live in Florida. And finally, my two loves, I was able to pursue, and I was able to combine my love for golf and my love for education and create a position where I'm teaching golf now for 25 years to little ones that are as young as 3 years old and as wise as 90 years old. I have a pretty cool job. Everybody is different, and that's what's neat. So the front nine of my life has been amazing, teaching and coaching golf to little ones and the older ones, like I said. But the back nine of my life, who knows? Maybe it will circle back around to becoming an elementary teacher and coach here in Cincinnati. Every time I visit Cincinnati, it gets harder and harder to return to Florida. I have a feeling this trip home will be the toughest. Sorry. I can't thank you enough for allowing me to share my thoughts with all of you. I will forever be a Redskin wherever I go. I'm proud to be a member of this Hall of Fame, and I dedicate this to my mom and my dad. Thanks.